Welcome back to Navigate Your Wealth. In the break, I was asking you about the 4%, and you said something, other people's money. So I'm just going to pitch it to you. If other people's money can pay for my stuff, let's talk about that.
Well, Rebecca, the problem is today, even though in my day I used 7%, and the Monte Carlo analysis says 4%, and that isn't a safe trip to Hawaii anymore.
That's right.
Then 2% is really that rate that you can count on working year in and year out. But I want you to think about that for just a second, because if I wanted $80,000 of income at 2%, I need a lot of millions. I need $4 million to be accumulated in order for me to generate $80,000 a year.
Wow.
And so a lot of times clients say, I'm doomed. I'm never going to be able to retire.
That's what I'm thinking.
Well, the good news is there's a way.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's hope.
If you're worried that you can't retire on 2%, don't worry, because what we want to do is look at, as you mentioned, other people's money. See, the reason that annuities work is because it's the law of large numbers.
Okay.
And so when multiple people are paying into the system, they have the capacity to put guarantees in place that you can't do in the stock market. You can't do because of the risk that is affiliated with those invested assets. So with an annuity, we have the ability to create higher distributions of payouts because they're collecting everybody's premiums on the front end, and then they get to pay them out little by little over time.
Well, and there's one more piece to that. It's because the annuity is based on your average life expectancy.
Okay.
And a life expectancy says if there's a pool of 60-year-olds, half of them are going to die before 84 years old, and half of them are going to live longer than 84 years old. Like, that's how life expectancy works. They pick a number, and half are going to not make it, and the other half are going to do better. Okay, I want to be on that half. But here's the key. The problem with doing investing the way that we've done it is I don't know which half I'm going to be on, and so now I'm worried about spending my money. I'm worried about running out of dollars. When you invest in a guaranteed income annuity, you put that burden on the life insurance company.
Gotcha.
They got tons of money. Let them worry about it. Let them lose sleep. I want my clients not to lose sleep. And so when we put this kind of an income strategy in place, I know that month over month, year over year, for however long it lasts, including my almost 101-year-old client, that check is coming, that it is guaranteed to be there.
You had mentioned annuities before, and I actually looked it up. It actually started in Roman times to help their soldiers know that they were going to be able to feed their family when they were away at war. Why do you think annuities got a bad rap? Because none of them are equal, I guess. There are different kinds, and you use the ones that you think are good.
You know, I think that part of the reason that annuities got a bad rap is because you put a chunk of money into the annuity, and essentially, it's no longer yours, right? You don't have access to it. It's no longer liquid. And so a lot of people didn't like the idea of giving up that control. They didn't have access to it. But you don't have access to your Social Security, but you love getting that
That's
check.
right. Or when you get that silly statement, I look at my statement and laugh. Like, this is just, you know, ink on paper. It doesn't mean anything. My portfolio that's not real money either.
Right. But that's a really good point, Samantha, because, you know, the thing that gives annuities a bad rap is the illiquidity of it. But just like Social Security, just like your pension, if you need a new roof, you can't call your company that's giving you a pension and say, I need $40,000 for a new roof.
Right.
You can't call Social Security and say, I need $50,000 for a trip that I want to take my kids on, right? Well, annuities, it's the same thing. It's a trade-off, but it's a good trade-off. And we don't put all the money into it.
Right.
You know, obviously,
certain...
remember, job descriptions of money. So there's some money that's going to provide income, some money that's going to be liquid and accessible, and some money that's going to grow. And that is what we do at Compass Financial.
Yeah. And what about taxes on annuities? How does that work? Is that different from regular income?
It depends what kind of asset it is. So if you have an accumulation annuity, which, by the way, right now rates are terrible at the bank, we have some wonderful multi-year guaranteed annuities. They're called MIGAs. Everybody loves a good acronym, right?
Okay.
Multi-year guaranteed annuity, where you can get upwards of 3, 4, 5% on those, like the good old days in certificates of deposit.
Guaranteed.
Guaranteed.
Without loss.
Without loss. No principal reduction whatsoever. And you pick a time. So for 3 years, it might be as 4.05%. You're tying your money up for 3 years at 4.05%, but you would do that with a certificate of deposit as well. Now, in that case, it's tax deferred. The taxes will be on the gain when you take the
So
money
it'll
out.
be later.
But guaranteed income annuities, there's different ways that it can be taxed. And if you put a Roth IRA, yeah,
I was just going to say, we talked about Roth IRAs and the importance of having tax-free income in retirement.
Yes.
Well, let's make that tax-free income be even greater by putting it in an annuity and having that income come to you 100% tax-free, guaranteed for the rest of your life.
Like you said a few weeks ago, the Bank of Samantha.
Exactly.
You know, the Bank of Rebecca, like do it yourself. But it's not like you just say, here, do this, and you're on your own. You are extremely hands-on.
We are.
Oh, absolutely. We are hands-on. And, you know, we have a philosophy at Compass Financial that every year we need to have an annual strategic planning session.
Nice.
A lot of our clients feel like, oh, no, you've set me up fine. I feel really good about everything. And we still encourage them to have that session, not because there may be any changes that needed, but we want to confirm that what we're doing, what they're doing, is still working for them. I'm not a mind reader. If something's changed in your world, in your life, we need to know that. So having that annual review is certainly important.
The other reason that we want to do that annual review is because we mentioned that we use a GPS, and it's a one-page snapshot in time about where your assets are and how we're going to use them in retirement. If we meet every year, then we have the opportunity to update that GPS. One, it shows you the progress that you've made. Sometimes the best motivation is seeing where you've come from so that you know exactly how much further you have to go in retirement.
GPS stands for, let's remind our
Growth,
viewers.
protection, and savings.
Growth, protection, and savings.
Yes.
And that is where Compass Financial, that is where the name came from.
Right. And we created this GPS because a lot of clients would come to us with a financial plan that they paid a lot of money for, 60, 70, 80-page plan.
Ridiculous.
And, you know, it's sad because when you walk out of the office of that planner with that plan, it's already extinct. Because, as I say, if you're going to shoot a rocket onto the moon, should you aim for the moon or ahead of the moon?
Definitely, I shoot ski. You got to go ahead of it. Because by the time you shoot, it's gone.
That's right.
Well, the time is gone too, believe it or not, everyone. And we're getting so many viewers' questions. We didn't get to them this week, but I promise we will next week. Reach out to us on our website. There's the number, 855-348-3073. Tell them what they can expect complimentary.
Listen, complimentary, we just want to have a conversation with you. We want to help you build your retirement roadmap so that you have the confidence to retire successfully.
All right. Thank you so much. Always enjoy seeing you.
Thanks for joining us today.
And thank you for having me. And thank y'all for letting us in your living room. Hope to see you again next week.